the TPS reports, the Pool Series podcast. We're back. You're with Justin Clark. You're with Brandon Mullis and the guy on the other screen, Pat Dixon. What's up, guys?
What's going on, gentlemen?
What is up, players? Appreciate your patience. It was a rough start to the evening, but we made it.
Well, we've had a rough couple of weeks since this last tournament that we're going to talk about. Brandon was sick last week.
Yes, I was.
Glad you're better, man.
Yeah, me too. It was kind of scary, actually, so I'm glad it all worked out in the end.
We're definitely happy for you, buddy.
Thank you.
And Pat has like 6 kids that he has to put down to sleep every night. So.
2, but it feels like 6.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So this episode, we're going to be talking about the non-ball tournament that we had at Blue Rocks over in Pineville, a place that Brandon played. Well, no, Pat plays at a lot, or some at least.
I'm building up a lot of reps there right now.
Nice.
Building up a lot of reps there. Nice place.
Good. Brandon, you played there anytime recently before this tournament?
Not in probably, honest to goodness, 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's been a long time since I've been in Blue Rocks. It looked completely different, looked way better than before. Great equipment, great environment altogether.
Yeah, it looks super nice. I like it a lot.
100%.
Yeah, it's me and Pat went over there the other day and played some for a little bit.
I gave you a look.
Yeah.
I gave you a solid look.
Yeah. Before we go into details of this tournament, I guess we'll read off our sponsors that we had, try to, do our duties here. Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas, which is you, Brandon, as always. We also had Paul Harrison Custom Cues, who does amazing work. Red's Debris Removal and Hauling. We love Red. He's played in some of our tournaments. Great guy. We also had, what do we have? Portis Licensed General Contractors. That's one of your friends, correct?
Yeah, that's Corey Shimtov. Yeah.
Yes,
Great guy.
Corey.
Love him.
I did not know how to pronounce his last name. Thank you.
Is it Portico or Portis?
Portis, right?
Portico.
It's Portico, right? Portico.
So sorry, Portico. We also had
we'll edit that out.
Yeah. We also had Bowie's Plumbing, which is Jeff Bowie. We all know Jeff Bowie. Shaw's Auto Works, Kevin Shaw. Definitely look him up. Smitty's Garage Services, which I don't know if y'all know Smitty or not. He plays some around league. Yeah, y'all might know him if you saw him.
So.
I might know if I saw him, yeah.
And then we also had Alpha Installations, which is Rhett, who plays in some of the tournaments at Smoking Cube. Great guy, great company. So thank you guys for sponsoring. We appreciate it. And a lot of them, I think, are back for our next tournament that we'll be talking about at the end of the show. So, yeah.
Can't
We're
wait.
gonna keep you busy. So we had a 9-ball tournament at Blue Rocks, like we said. We did kind of the same format we did with the 8-ball tournament. We did 2 out of 3 sets, races to 3. Both of you guys played in this tournament. Yes. Any thoughts? Pat, what's your thoughts on this event compared to the other one? Did it go better? Were the races better? Just overall, just compare the two and tell me what you thought since you played in both.
I think this is the best tournament that the Pool Series has had yet. And I think it's a combination of things. Number one, the players, right? I feel like the field was just as strong as it was at the Jukebox tournament. So you combine that with the location, the way Blue Rocks was, the environment like Brandon was mentioning earlier. And then I feel like the folks had a chance to actually get used to the format. So we've already done it once at Jukebox, right? Maybe if you're unfamiliar with it, okay, you might have an excuse as to why you might have been playing poorly. It would have been something else on your mind. But I feel like people have gotten used to it. They've grown, accustomed to playing it that way. They like it. So I think it was a combination of things, man. That this is the best one yet for sure.
Awesome, sweet. And Brandon, this is the first event overall that you played in of ours,
Yes.
but also the first, obviously, with this new format. So what was your thoughts on just playing in a format like this being your first time?
Not just in my match, but looking at other matches that I observed on and off the table all day, just watching every single situation be a pressure situation.
Yeah.
No matter who was shooting, no matter the circumstance, it was probably one of the best tournaments I've played in. Disappointed in my end result, but was also very pleased with the path of getting there. So
Yeah.
just can't speak highly enough about this event.
And it was definitely fun to watch as I sat there and commentated most of the day, which both of you guys jumped in on the microphone. Pat, you were there most of the day with me. Brandon jumped in some there at the end. So I think we also all had fun commentating. We did have a full field of 32 players again, which is amazing. I think it's great that these tournaments are filling up. Uh, Pat, you said that you think the competition was about just as good as Jukebox. I actually think this one was more top heavy. I think this one had a lot more. I think the top 8 or 9 players in this tournament, whereas were very high level.
All
I think
very strong.
I think at Jukebox we only had 4 or 5 that were really high level. And I don't know, is that what you guys? I mean, Brandon, is that what you think?
I definitely agree with it. Was way more overall at the top.
Yeah.
I will say that watching some of the players that we would deem to be lower ranked players make it as far as a lot of them did was very encouraging, not just for us but for them as well, to let everybody know you can come out and compete in these tournaments.
Absolutely, and we'll get to some of those guys and where they finished. Yeah,
I'm looking at a couple of them right here. Good gracious. That's
yeah.
nice.
So do you guys want to start off by talking about how y'all did personally, or would you rather just go ahead and dive into how the other players did? It's up to you guys, because we're going to talk about you guys at some point. Do you want to go ahead and get it out of the way? Or?
Let's get this out of the way.
I like
All right. Well, let's. I guess we'll start with the shorter of the two. Pat, your tournament.
I haven't been called the shorter of the two since I was like 8 years old, so appreciate that.
So Pat, you did a little better in this tournament than you did in the jukebox one.
Yeah, a little bit better.
You lost 1-2 to Alan Prophet, and then you lost 1-2 to Chris Clark.
Yeah, both of them went to the hill. And with Alan Prophet, hats off to both of those guys, by the way. Both solid players. Chris Clark I would say, is probably the better of the three of us. He's a very good player. Some of the decisions that he made during that match, especially towards the end, and then his cue ball control as well was like pretty high level. So you saw flashes, but you also saw like he wasn't as comfortable as he wanted to have been. But even still, I was happy to take both of those guys to the hill and at least give myself a chance. But the Allen Prophet match really hurt because I felt like I gave that one up.
Yeah,
I felt like I gave him that.
You missed like a 9-ball or an 8-ball during that match, I believe, right?
A few times.
Okay.
A few times. Yeah. But overall, it's still like a great experience. Just being able to compete. So just adding more names to the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean that's a great format for you too, because I mean I feel like in a longer, just straight up longer races against Chris, it might not turn out so well. No offense to you. I mean,
no.
But I think in a short race like that, you really had a chance to beat him.
No, for sure. I don't feel like I gave that one up as much as I gave up the Prophet match, but definitely that one as well. I had a chance,
Well, we're definitely rooting for you.
Appreciate it, man. Hey, looking forward to getting that first one.
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's
going to happen.
Yeah. My prediction actually is you don't just win a match next time. You're going to win 2 or 3 or 4.
I'm coming for the chip every time my name is on the list.
The money.
Okay, I'm coming for it every time I play. Also, I need you to get the real Pat Dixon in there because we are sullying some poor guy's record.
All right. Yeah, so we messed up. All right. We never switched it. All right. We'll get it right next time.
It's the Charlotte, North Carolina guy.
Okay. We don't want to lower your Fargo right now.
Yeah, Brandon. I saw at one point. Oh, it's gonna get low. I saw at one point. You made a couple of shots and like you were kind of making a statement. I feel like to yourself, like, "Hey, I'm here too." I feel like you might have been shooting through some frustration.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to admit, my first match was very nerve-wracking for me.
You want me to read off your matches here really quick, Brandon?
Feel free.
So Brandon's matches in order, how he went. He wins 2-0 against Spanky. That's a good win. Solid 2-0 win there. Then you beat Art 2-0. Another solid victory there. Then you lose to the guy that that we'll get to later. You lose to Joey Fox 0-2.
That was a tough one.
I mean, Joey Fox is a legend around these parts. 2-time national champion, by the way, in APA. And then you lose Hill 2-1 to David Anderson, the machine.
Yo.
I'd like to put some quotations on that. I did go Hill, but the game count was 8-3. He was the 2 sets that he beat me in. He was definitely out for blood. The second set, I think I was so mad I didn't care, so I just started shooting everything that was on the table and got fortunate.
So out of those 4, I guess. I mean, did Anderson? Who played the best out of those 4?
Oh, Fox.
Fox, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Do you feel like I mean, just how did you feel in those 4 matches? Like, did you feel comfortable in this, like playing those guys in this race?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, it didn't take me long to get out of my nerves of the first match, especially since we were tied 2-2 in the first
Hmm.
set, and I was able to get a 3 foul to win the
Oh,
first
nice.
set. That
Oh wow, you
took
got a 3 foul.
that took a lot of pressure off me, and I started running more racks and feeling better. My
That's pretty
best
awesome.
match was probably against Art. Art wins the first game. I win the next 5.
Good job.
Mm.
And then I have a shot. I'm on. This is what I talk about as far as pressure pull in these situations. I'm up 2-0 in the second set, and I miss a 7.
Hmm.
Next thing I know, we're hill in the second
Oh yeah.
set, and he hangs a 6 ball up, and I got to walk out of the rack and win the
Oh
match.
wow.
Oh wow.
So I mean, that could have easily gone 3 sets if he just makes that 1 6 ball. So
Right.
give Art credit. Our Art actually played pretty well that day
I mean, art
overall.
can play good.
He can.
So
What?
this is definitely a question for you, Brandon, more
Yes,
so
sir.
just because you've been playing for a while and you're right there on that level where maybe you can be in the same group with some of these people like Fox and Anderson, or maybe you're right below that level. Did your confidence just is it a lot higher in this kind of format than if we were just playing races to 9 that day or races to 7?
Oh, way higher.
Way higher.
Way higher. Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, I respect my own game, and I feel like there's a lot of people that do, but there are plenty of players that definitely outplay me on an average, and both of those guys do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in that one, it's way because for example, in the second set with Joey, Joey has me 2-0 in the second set,
Yeah.
misses an 8.
Hmm.
And then Pat mentioned a frustration shot. When I drew the off the 2 ball all the way into the 9 ball, and we're hill.
Yeah, that shot
Yeah.
was crazy.
I broke dry and Joey runs.
Well, that
Oh
happens.
wow.
You just have to deal with it.
That
Yeah.
happens. So overall, we definitely appreciate both you guys playing. Pat,
Blast. Love
Pat's
it.
going to play in pretty much every one of our
I
events.
cannot wait for every month. I mark it on the
Yeah.
calendar. My wife literally right before I got on, she made a fresh calendar because it's October. I marked it. It's on
Perfect.
there.
Perfect. We love it. And you're just going to keep getting better. This is going to help you get a lot better than playing league every Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get like at least one day of practice in a week if I can too.
That helps too. That definitely
Yeah.
helps too. So let's go ahead and get into the top finishers. Once again, we had 32 players. We pay the top 8, which is a quarter of the field, which I think is very solid. And we're just going to go down. I'm going to go from the bottom to the top this time because I feel
I
like
love it.
Yeah. So we'll start with the 7th and 8th place finishers. 7th, 8th was Jeremy Gaddings and Monik Surrey.
Love seeing that for Jeremy.
Jeremy was definitely a big surprise. He beat Biondi to get to the money. And Monik is just a solid player who I was happy to see play in our event.
Yes.
So, Pat, did you know either one of them?
I believe I've met Monik once at Rackham a long time ago. Haven't had too much conversation with him, but I did get a chance to watch him play. Just like you said,
Great.
very solid player, man.
Yes. I love how he plays. I love his game.
Very smart player.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were 7th, 8th. 5th, 6th was, and I might mess up this last name,
Uh-oh.
Karthik Muthyala. I don't, Karthik, I'm so sorry, buddy.
Mutiala, I
Is that
believe.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Karthik Mutiala.
All right. Well, he's kind of newer to the scene, and I think he's just going to be on the come up. Come at me at this time next year. He'll be up there if he keeps playing. If he keeps playing, he'll be up there. And then the other 5th, 6th place was Eddie Little, who, he's back. Eddie,
Yes.
the legend, he's back. What's y'all's thoughts on those two players?
You go first.
I'm gonna tell you why I think Eddie got 5th and 6th because I'm not sure. And Eddie, sorry in advance, but you already know this. I don't know if he recovered from making the 9 and scratching against Renal in that semifinal of the winter side match. That was so brutal. Hill, both sets, 2-2. Makes the 9 and just tangent line took it right in the pocket.
Oh,
My heart bled for the
Yeah,
guy.
he was done. He was done after that.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
my number one guy right now is Karthik. I'm
Yeah,
a
oh,
fan. I am a fan. I want to see that guy do well.
I'm a
unless he's
huge
playing
fan
against me.
I'm a huge fan of Karthik. I tried to buy him in that Calcutta, and I will try to buy him in any Calcutta in where he's at. And me and him actually played in the finals of a tournament, the Monday night tournament at Smoking Q the other night too. So
How'd that go?
How's it
well, I wasn't going to try to. I beat him 4-0,
Yeah,
but that's
of course.
neither here nor there. but but no, huge fan of him. Huge fan of how he plays. I think he just gets to certain spots where he just is questionable on what to do exactly. Um, but he's learning, and like I said, market 365 days from now. Well, next year's a leap year, so let's go 366 days from now. I think that kid will be one of the top 5 or 6 players in Charlotte. Yes, and I think Pat
He's got that
agrees
game.
with
Yeah,
yes.
he's got that kind of a
I
game.
have to watch this guy more because that's the first time I ever saw him or met him.
Well, we'll get into it later, but he is in a couple of the stream matches. You can go back and look at on the Pool Series Facebook, which will soon be on the Pool Series YouTube as well. So nice little plug there. Good job. So 4th place finish, a guy that we have not seen in a while. Yeah. Pat, put it on the screen there.
I'll put it right there.
Is a guy we have not seen in a while, and might be a guy that Pat has never seen ever play, and that's David Anderson.
That dude.
Pat, you never seen him, right?
He looked like he walked in and said, "Oh, hey, what are you guys? Are you guys playing pool in here? Can I play?" That's what he looked like, and then
and literally that's the first time he's touched a ball in probably 6 months.
That's crazy.
Pretty much how he rolls. He is a tournament player, maybe one every 1 or 2 years. He plays Masters.
Wow.
But other than that, he gets out once every year and a half, and you see what he did.
Imagine if that guy got some table time. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I have a theory that if he played on a regular basis, he would easily be the best player in the 704 area code.
No question.
Or the 980 area code. Whatever, And I know other people that might listen to this podcast and the other players might not like me saying that, but
they don't have to like it.
I really do think if David Anderson played on a consistent basis, I think he is the best player in our area code.
The guy never plays. He never plays serious pool. Walks in and gets 4th place after losing a second match.
Yes, I think he lost the second match. Pat, you got the
lost to
bracket?
Viandi.
He lost the second match. The first match he beat Damien 2-0, and then he lost to Viandi 2-0, and then Saul LeBlanc, Brian Francis, Brandon Mullis, Manic, Eddie Little.
I mean, those are all champions that play probably almost at least 4 times a week, possibly.
He 2-0'd Eddie Little.
Yeah, he 2-0'd Eddie Little. I mean, yeah, exactly.
I mean, I at least got set off of him.
Yeah. So David, unbelievable player. Also one of my best friends. So I was so happy to see him up there, and I was also very excited to see this 3rd place finisher up there. And I was happy to see them 2 playing each other to get in the top 3 because it reminds me of my Masters days whenever we just would win 4 years in a row to go to Vegas. But whatever.
Drop that.
Yeah. So 3rd place was Jeff Pate, his 3rd straight top 4 in a pool series event. I mean, Pat, you've seen Jeff play now back-to-back tournaments. Thoughts? Give me your thoughts on Jeff.
I love Jeff's game. I think the strongest part of his game is his cue ball speed. He's got some of the best speed I've ever seen somebody have. Shoot pool. I felt like this isn't the same Jeff Pate we saw at Jukebox. I don't think he played as good, but just at times. But overall, man, you can't argue with 3rd. You can't argue with 3rd. Love Jeff Pate's game, man. He played strong for the most part.
Absolutely. And he's another player that I'm happy to see playing a lot more. Brandon, you've seen Jeff play a lot throughout
years.
The years.
Yeah. Mr. Consistent.
Yes.
The guy just knows how to win matches. Some matches look great. Some matches you wonder how he got to where he was, but he still finds a way to win. That's just a character trait of great players.
Yeah.
Finding ways to win matches.
He's a winner.
He is. Yeah. He honestly is.
Yeah, for sure. And it might be karma too because he's such a great guy. He might be the nicest guy out of these 8 people, honestly. And that's no slight on the other guys because the other guys are all nice too. There's not a bad guy in this. I'm just saying Jeff might be the nicest person that comes in that pool. So it might just be karma. It might just be karma that carries him to the top 4 every time. And then he just does a little bit of extra work to guarantee that it's there. But let's bring it to number 2, the guy that beat Jeff. And his 2nd straight cash in our tournament. He cashed in the 8-ball event. Ronald Bot. The Bot Man. We're giving him a nickname now. He's got it. The Bot Man.
Oh, we got to get that soundboard. I might have to get that soundboard.
Coping bot right now. That's how I
Yes,
feel
we're
about
giving
it.
the bot man. What's y'all's thoughts on Ronaldo and how great he plays and how just he pockets balls like it's so easy? Pat, go first.
I
What you think?
thought he was going to win the tournament personally when he first came out, because I think we were playing at the same time. He was playing Youngin, Antonio
Yes.
Belton, and I just had I had a little eye over there, kind of looking at the table with one eye, seeing what was going on, and the way that guy was playing, I was like,
Oh yeah.
oh, he might win it tonight. And then I went back and actually watched the full match on our Facebook page and then soon on our YouTube. And actually got to see it rack after rack. And I was like, oh, he put on a clinic. Oh, yeah, he's very dangerous. And his game, man, didn't you say last time that he never practices? Like he just walks in and just starts
Yeah.
shooting when the tournament starts? And you
He
felt like
showed
he
up.
should show up?
He showed up 5 minutes before that first match.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
like I texted him when he was about to play Youngin, and I was like, "Hey man, you're up," and he was like, "Okay, I'm coming in." And that was the first time I saw him all day.
Does anybody know? Does he have a table at his house? Does anybody know?
No, he lives in an apartment, so I doubt that he has a table.
My gosh.
He's another player like David Anderson, where they have forgotten about more talent in their left pinky than most of us will ever have in our entire life.
Oh yeah,
Where, I mean, I played more pool than hours slept in my 20s, and I haven't gotten anywhere near as far as either of those. So, I mean, I think that has a lot to do with it. And Pat, like you, I thought he was going to win it too.
yeah.
I mean, he has some shots that just made me say, "Oh!" Like I couldn't believe it.
And
The whole day.
no offense to Jeff, but I really wanted to see David Anderson beat Jeff just because I want to see David and Ronaldo play each other.
Sure.
I feel like that would just be. I feel like those guys would grind it so much that would be just an epic match. No matter what the score is, I feel like that would just be a match where you're like, "Wow, that was one of the most entertaining matches I've seen all day." And
Like it would have been a solid hour 15 with highlights all around.
yeah,
Oh,
for sure. I mean, they would both come with the shots.
98% chance that match would have gone 3 sets.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, anyways, let's get to the winner of the tournament. The winner of the non-ball event at Blue Rocks for the month of September. Joey Fox, the APA legend, the two-time back-to-back national champion, the guy that got to go home with the awesome trophy, the
Bro,
awesome trophy that he loves.
this
Joey-
trophy, I
He
need some. Now you're building on your creativity here. The first trophy was a spinner. That was dope. The
Yes.
second trophy was this
Little
guy
guy.
right here.
Yeah.
This guy right here is the second trophy. That's crazy. What are you going to come up with next?
I mean, dude, well, it's all the trophies. Shout out to who makes the trophies, first of all. JC Riggs makes the trophies.
Okay.
JC, thank you so much. I highly doubt that she watches this or listens to it, but
Send this part to her.
I
Somebody
will.
send this to
I
her.
will. All right, I will. But yeah, thank her so much for making the trophies. I know Pat doesn't know her. Brandon knows her.
Yeah.
One of the most amazing ladies that I've ever met. So thank her for making the awesome trophy. But let's get to Joey Fox and how he really, honestly, what was that? His B plus game probably that we watched on Saturday.
That's what Joey will tell you.
Not against me.
Well,
He might have
I
played
mean-
B plus in the other matches against me. He was a solid A minus or solid A all the way.
Pat, pull up his matches. Tell us how his matches went, man.
I
Because
got you right here.
I'm telling you right now, even the scores of his matches are not typical Joey.
All right. So match number 1, he 2-0s Chris Clark in 12 minutes. That can't be right.
Well, the timing of the matches. Don't pay no attention to the timing of the matches.
Okay, we won't worry about that. I
Yeah.
won't bring that up. I just
Yeah.
thought that was incredible if that's
no,
true.
that was not true though. That was not true.
Okay. About to say, come on, dog.
No, the timing of the matches, we kind of messed up on starting the timer on some of them.
Okay. Okay. That's I was about to say there's no way.
Yeah.
But he beat Chris Clark,
I mean, that's solid.
Alan Prophet, Ramos.
But that went hill. That went hill. Yeah. So
And Hill
not a typical Joey match there.
Yeah. 2-0 Karthik and beat Ronaldo on the hill because that one went 2-1.
Yeah. I mean, so
Yeah.
Joey. I mean, you watch these matches. I'm telling you, Joey Fox has a better game than what he showed in that tournament.
I talked to him. I think he mentioned that. I can't remember if it was when he was playing or after he was done, but I remember him saying something along the lines of like he just does not feel like he's playing well today. And I'm like, well, bro, you haven't lost yet. So if this is the floor, I think we're good. Like, just shoot through it.
Joey's another guy that's going to find a way to win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very tough player.
Yes.
Seasoned.
And
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's been playing since the 90s, so he's definitely seasoned.
he's got the kind of game to where he starts firing balls into pockets. His confidence actually builds. It gets stronger.
Bro, when he gets into that mode like he was against Ronaldo, where he's just firing the
Yes.
balls, there's no beating Joey Fox.
No.
I mean,
I
if he's
think I can
playing,
watch that one.
yeah, if he's on point and he plays like he does in that match where he's just firing at everything and not thinking about it and playing safe, there's nobody on this list that's probably beating Joey Fox. I mean, honestly. But a lot of times he gets questionable where he starts taking his time and goes too slow and I think gets out of rhythm. And then you start seeing him struggle a little bit. But he did not have that final match.
A link to that match is
Thank you.
right there. Link to that match right there. Go check that one out.
Thank you, sir.
Pat, I wanted to thank you, by the way, on here for stepping out and letting me step into the hot seat. That was an absolute privilege to call with Rico. That was a great match. And Rico and I agreed in the beginning, we're pulling for Hill. We're not really pulling for one of the players. We're pulling for Hill, and we got it, and it was an awesome match.
I root for Hill every
There
match.
you go.
Yeah, that was Justin's motto all night. I want Hill.
I want Hill.
Yeah. And then I want to see a break and run on the hill, though. That's all my motto.
Why are these matches taking 2 hours? I just want Hill.
Yeah. All right, so that was our top 8. Well, I'm going to go ahead and run through them again really quick, in order from first to 8. Joey Fox, Ronald Bott, Jeff Pate, David Anderson, Karthik, what's his last name, Pat?
Mutiala.
There you go. Eddie Little, Jeremy Gaddings, and Monik Surrey. That's the top 8. I mean, Jeremy's the big surprise there. Yeah. I mean, I think
he had an incredible shot to beat Viandi.
Yes.
I mean, he had a shot that was almost as crazy as what Viandi did to David Anderson.
which you can see that highlight on YouTube already.
But he did a one pocket bank that was perfect, called it, and Jeremy usually doesn't show a lot of emotion. He did after that match, and I was happy for him. That was a great shot. He played well.
Jeremy first round went Hill with Jeff Pate, third set also.
Yeah.
So Jeremy really came with it in this tournament, which I was happy to see. I'm glad that both tournaments so far with this format, we've had a surprise player make the top 8. It was who was it the first time?
Was it Damien?
Shane Adkins.
Oh, Shane Adkins.
Yes.
And now you have Jeremy Gaddings. I love it. I want to see, I like maybe next time we get like 2 in there. Maybe we can sneak a second person in there.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, there'll be a time where a player like that reaches the top 4, and we're like, this doesn't happen in a different format.
I mean, if just take a look at the names that are just outside of that. So if you look at 9 through 12, you've got Joe Hyatt, you've got Damian Kimes, Viandi sitting in there, and then you got Brandon Mullis.
Yeah.
I
mean, and honestly, I think, no offense to Brandon, but 3 of those guys I think would be a surprise to make the money. I think Viandi would be the one that we would expect to be there, but the other 3 are kind of that would be awesome if they could have won that last match.
Right.
And what was Pat? What's 13 through 16?
That would be Chris Clark, Brian Francis, Shane Adkins, Antonio Belton, Youngin.
I mean, and all 4 of those guys, I think
tough.
Yeah.
Some more than others, but
yeah, I mean, those are tough players, and those are guys where you could say, hey, they could make the money. But the fact that they finished below the other 4 that you mentioned tells you that this format really is open to anybody.
This is the best format in Charlotte, the surrounding area. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm on the show and I'm a part of this. I'm saying that because, listen, and he and I talked about this on the side. He already knows I'm going to say this on the podcast. Damian Kimes, out of everybody we've mentioned, is probably the weakest player. And he gets this for everybody to see. Damian, you had an awesome tournament. You beat some big names, and
let me pull them up.
You are proof that if you keep playing and practicing and play events, don't depend on your APA matches practice, because it's actually how you get worse. He is proof that you can go far in these things and you can build a better game.
So you're saying he's the best APA 4 around?
He is the hands down. I'll bet him against anybody, any other 4 APA except Pat Dixon. That's not a 4 though, is it?
No, I think Pat's a 6.
I'm about to be.
6?
Yeah, 6, I think.
6.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Damian for sure is definitely. Out of everybody, I mean, and even in the last tournament at Jukebox, he was top 12, I think.
Yeah, he was up there again. He
Yeah.
was up there again. He's right. He's like a ball away.
Yeah.
He's a ball or two away a rack from being in the money. But to your point, like he lost to David Anderson 0-2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough, you know?
Oh yeah.
He beat Miran Suriman.
Yeah.
Suriman? Myron. Okay, I wasn't
Yeah.
familiar. So Myron, he beat Ricardo Gonzalez. He beat Rico.
That's a big win.
Yeah, that's a huge win for him. I mean,
And
Rico's a
then-
seven. Yeah.
There you go. And beat him on the hill at that. He beat Shane Atkins. Beat him on the hill.
Yeah.
Lost to Jeff Pate. So the two guys that he lost to, you could argue were the two top players in the tournament, two out of the top three.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they finished top. Both of them finished top 4, so no shame in losing to those guys.
There you go.
You know what? You know what else I love about Damien? Because I was talking to him during 2 of those matches briefly. He has his head in the match the entire time until the last ball is pocketed. He's optimistic. He's hopeful, and he gets super excited when he sees an opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Where other people get scared, he gets excited.
I see. I always.
Hear you far and pull.
You're exactly right. I always see him kind of take a little extra bounce when he makes a tough shot or a shot that he's probably thinking like they don't think I'm gonna make this, but I didn't. He'll kind of get that extra little, the little
Chip
bop
on
around
the
the table.
shoulder.
Yeah,
He shows
yeah,
emotion for sure.
yeah. But I love watching this game. I love watching this game grow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him to make the money one time. I hope he's the next surprise top 8 finish in the next one. Him and you, Pat. Y'all both need to be there. Brandon, I'm not sure if you're a surprise really. It depends on the field. So we'll kind of keep you off to the side on that category for a second.
Kind of in limbo,
Yeah.
pending.
Yeah, depends on the field. Like this field, you were a surprise. If you played at Jukebox, maybe you were top 8. Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever met Brandon. I played him. I asked him if he wouldn't mind shooting a little bit, and he said, "Sure, come on over." And I remember the whooping that he put on me. I was like, "This guy's gonna be my coach."
That's awesome.
So I expect to see Brandon in this in the money in the next one as
All right.
well.
So there you go. So Brandon, you're not a surprise money
Oh,
catcher.
there we
You're
go.
you're a
All
disappointment that you didn't get there.
That's it.
Yeah.
I like that better. We're going with that.
All right, guys. So let's switch our focus now that we talked about the top 8 a little bit. Let's talk about just match by match, round by round. I'm just going to read off the streaming matches that we had. I'm not going to go into other matches that were not on the stream
Okay.
because we want to talk about ones that these people that are listening or watching can go back and rewatch, on the Pool Series Facebook page or on the Pool Series YouTube page. And so we're just going to go, so we're going to go through these 3, these rounds. So I'm going to go ahead and list the 3 that we had in round 1, and then we'll just kind of talk about them. So round 1, we had Joey Fox win 2-0 against Chris Clark. We had Eddie Little win 2-1 against Todd Milam.
Mhm.
And then we had Ronald Bott win 2-0 against Youngin. So, Pat, out of those 3 matches, which one was kind of, in your opinion, the best or the most fun to watch? Like, which is one that they should really go back? Only one of them went hill, so maybe that's your answer. But out of those 3 matches, which was your best or your favorite?
I would probably have to say the only one that I was able to kind of poke another little eyeball at, it would probably be the Runal Youngin match if it were
Because
me.
of how good Ronald played?
Yes. It was no exaggeration earlier when I looked over and I was like, that might be a problem if we get matched up somehow, somewhere. Like, I'm confident, but that's an issue. So that's my honest pick. I'd have to say that one. But that Joey Fox Chris Clark game is.
Yeah, I mean, my 3 thoughts on my thought on all 3 matches. Joey Fox and Chris Clark. I feel like Joey didn't necessarily play his best, but Chris looked very nervous being on the stream, so he just made some mistakes that kind of helped Joey win. Eddie and Todd. I feel like Todd kind of great match. Todd kind of proven that maybe he's a newbie to Charlotte, but he could be a force to reckon with. And then, like you said, Ronaldo just played lights out against Youngin, and I feel like Youngin's one of those guys that's about to break through, but Ronaldo showed him that, hey, I'm still that dude. So that's kind of my thoughts on those 3 matches. Brandon, what was your favorite? What's one that sticks out to you out of those 3?
To tell you the truth, other than the hot seat match, the Todd Milam and Eddie Little match was my favorite match of the entire day.
Oh wow!
It was the story of 2 guys who were probably about 30 or 40 points apart in Fargo. And Todd has given Eddie every single thing he wants. He's running racks. He made a few pivotal mistakes that cost him the match in the third set. Sometimes I think nerves and just
Mhm.
stress and different things can play effect on that. Eddie wasn't playing his best game. He'll tell you that. He really wasn't. And Todd was feeding off that, especially in the second set when he won. But
Yeah,
there was a genuine 2 or 3 minutes. I actually commentated that with
you
you,
did. Yes,
Justin,
yes.
where I thought Todd was going to take him down.
Yeah, and I
Oh
told you.
wow.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so too. I said, Brandon, are we about to watch the biggest upset
Yes.
of this tournament right here in the first round? And it didn't quite happen. Eddie
No,
pulled it out. Eddie's another guy. He can pull it out when it comes down to crunch time. But
that
yeah,
I was going to say that was like a 15 seed losing to a 2 seed by 2 points.
no, I don't know if I would put it that far, man.
It was close.
I think this was more like the 12-5 matchup.
12-5, you think so?
Yeah, where it's like you're expecting one every year. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Todd plays a little better than people think. Just because his far goes low doesn't mean that he's not that good.
I guess I just know I've seen what Eddie has been in the past and what Eddie can be.
I mean, I agree with that too. But then
So-
you also gotta think about the opponent as well,
True.
because this is an alternating break format as well. So Todd does get to break every other rack.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that match because I've got the episode up right now on our Facebook page and or YouTube channel. And Todd Milam is running through this second rack right now on the hill. He's shooting very well.
yes. So that was the first round, and I think we started off with a bang. All three of those matches are solid for the first round.
Todd practices a lot. So, I mean, his game's only going to get better, especially you talk about players you want to see in the next year, check him out.
Yeah, I mean, I hopefully he gets better. I'm not sold on how good he can be, but I do think he plays good now. Anyways,
Yeah.
I don't know how much higher he can get.
He puts in the work, so we'll see.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily.
That's true,
I mean, a lot of work doesn't necessarily mean you get a lot better. So, no offense to Todd, but still a big fan of his game. Still tried to bomb in the Calcutta, so that tells you what I thought of him. Round two, we had 4 matches, and I think a couple decent ones. Not really. It seemed like the first round had a lot of big matchups, and then the second round was kind of a great player versus a medium player, so to speak. Except for this first one, which was David Anderson and Viandy Santos. Viandy won 2-0. Then Monic Surrey beat Shane Atkins 2-0. And then Karthik, what's his last name, Pat?
Mutiala.
Beat Rico Gonzalez 2-0. And then Jeff Pate beat Joe Hyatt Sr. 2-1. Let's start with Brandon this time. Brandon, out of those 4, obviously, David and Viandy was the best, maybe? I don't know. But, I mean, was it really? Because Jeff and Joe went hill. And Joe had a chance, really. He missed like an 8-ball, I think, maybe, to bring it hill the third set.
I mean, kind of like the Eddie and Todd match, Joe Hyatt did the same thing to Jeff in a lot of ways. Yeah. But I don't know. That David and Viandy match was just another one that I'd put up there. Like that was an instant classic. Plus, Viandy with an incredible jump bank on a 9-ball that I'm proud to say I did photobomb for anybody wants to watch. But overall, just that match was just great from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, I think that match was great. I think Karthik beating Rico was kind of a surprise, so that's always fun to watch as well. Jeff and Joe was it was hill, but I don't know if it was ever really exciting. So it's kind of my thoughts on it. Monic beating Shane 2-0. Y'all go check out Joey Baggs' song on Apple Music. That's his little plug there. You're welcome, Shane. You're welcome. Pat, what's your thoughts on those 4 matches, man?
I was actually going to agree and say that the Viandy David one was the best one out of those. And you could argue that, right? That jump shot was insane. It was a really good battle, both offensively and defensively. However, I think the best one was the Karthik versus Rico, because again, nobody because you don't expect him to win that match, let alone go 2-0. And I felt like that was like the real introduction, especially if we're talking about a TV table match, to Karthik's game and who he is on the pool table. Because I think that might have been the one that we saw and we were talking like, something's up with this game. It's like he knows what to do.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just doesn't happen. Like we're looking at 2 different players. Yeah. But and then you get to know him. Used to be a snooker player back in India, I believe. And so you're like, oh, so that's how you know how to hit a ball really well, really well. But some of the things, some of the mechanics and fundamentals of the game, he's still picking up, especially with that consistency. But that is probably my favorite one because we really got a nice introduction into his game, which is a nice game.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
a fan.
Absolutely.
He can definitely play. No
Absolutely. So if that was your introduction to him, then round 3 we had 2 matches, and you just said the other one, Karthik beating Rico, was your intro to Karthik. In round 3, he beats Monik 2-0. So that's got to be Karthik's coming out party. Then that's got to be the one where he's like, okay, this guy's for real. Like this guy is legit. Like let's look at this kid now. And then also the other round 3 matchup was Eddie Little beating Biondi 2-0. It's crazy both these matches went 2-0. And also all 4 of those players are pretty solid. I mean, obviously going into it, we're questionable about Karthik, but there's no more questionable about it now after his 5th, 6th place finish. So Pat, you sat there, you watched both these matches.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie and Biondi, Karthik and Monik, both 2-0. What's your thoughts, man?
I think that, especially with if we're gonna, talk about Karthik again, I noticed his focus
Oh yeah.
in the second match, or excuse me, in the third round match against Monik. So at first I was trying to figure out his mechanics and who he might be as a player and why it looks great and why it doesn't. And then I realized, okay, we had that conversation. Now I know a little bit about who you are. Then I saw him figuring things out and shooting better in real time. I feel like he had a very strong match against Manic, so it was really nice to kind of see him put together consecutive shots, running 4 or 5, 6 balls at a time. The Eddie Little and Viandy Santos, I can't say that I expected that one to be as bad as it was.
Did Eddie play almost perfect in that match?
Just about perfect. He 2-0'd him. I don't know if Viandy won a set.
He did not win a set. No, Eddie won 2-0 for sure. I don't know. I don't have the scores of the sets written down, but it was 2-0.
I meant not sets, but racks. I don't think.
Did he beat him 3-0, 3-0? I'm not sure.
I'm skipping through it right now, brother. I don't see a one next to Viandy. Yeah, he 3-0'd him.
That's crazy. That was Eddie's Super Bowl. I feel like Eddie just really wanted to beat Viandy. I think that was the whole reason he showed up to this tournament. To be honest with you, because they had that big gambling match a while back too.
On a mission.
Yes, he was on a mission to get through that match. It kind of, it was like when Wisconsin beat Kentucky in the Final Four that one year, and then they just forgot to show up to the title game.
Which I appreciate them not showing up.
Yeah, we weren't gonna talk about that part, but that part never happened. Actually,
oh sure.
It's kind of like when Carolina beat Durham in the Final Four the other year, and then just kind of forgot that there was a title game.
And a tournament the next year with it.
No, there was no tournament that year. College basketball.
Okay.
College basketball has actually not been played since that Final Four game when Mr. K retired. There has not been another college game since.
Shut her down.
Yeah, but anyways, Brandon, what's your thoughts on these 2 matches? Let's get back on topic here, boys. Brandon, the round 3 here: Eddie and Biondi, Karthik versus Monik.
I called the Eddie and Viandy match out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah. Oh, you were playing at this point.
I was.
Okay.
So when I was looking over at Eddie, and he just wasn't missing anything.
Yeah.
Like he was putting. Every time he could see out, he got out. If he had to play safe, he played a great safe. He controlled the tempo. When you can control the tempo in an alternate break format, that's strong. You really are doing something in your game to do that because you only get half the breaks.
Absolutely.
So, and I think you said a lot. I think that was an emotional win.
Mm-hmm.
He really wanted to prove to himself and to everybody.
Yes.
That maybe that gambling thing was a fluke. Maybe it wasn't. We don't know. I'm sure they'll play again eventually.
The score of the match was a fluke for sure.
Oh, no question. And then the Monik and Karthik match, that was another great match where we really learned a lot about Karthik.
Yeah.
I've known Monik a pretty good while, and I know how good he can play. So for Karthik to 2-0 him, that is
shocking.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Like, I honestly thought Monik would take that, but – I mean, sure, we all.
If you told me it was 2-0, I would have said, "Oh yeah, Monik beat him 2-0," and yeah. So that tells you how I feel about it. But I mean, I love to see the upsets. I love to see I mean, obviously, like we said, I do root for Hill every time, but also love to see the upsets. So, can I have an upset win Hill break and run every match?
It's coming.
It's going to happen. It'll be Pat.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So next up, we had the Final Four winner side.
Oof.
4 great players, 2 really solid matches. You had Joey Fox beat Karthik. What's his last name, Pat?
Mutiala.
There we go. Joey beats him 2-0, and then Ronald Bott beats Eddie Little 2-0. And we talked about Eddie emotional victory the round before. This was an emotional loss. Whereas I feel like after this match, the tournament for him was definitely over, and he was just ready to go home after this. Also, Ronald did play really good against him too, though. And then Joey against Karthik was a weird match. Joey, I felt like, played really good. Karthik finally got on a run and then shoots the wrong ball. Do you remember that? Who was that?
Yes.
Me and you, Pat, right?
I think that was me. Yeah, because I had to remember having to stop myself from saying something because we were not supposed to.
Yeah,
so
because he was lining up on it, and we were like, "Should we say something?" I was like, "He's not going to shoot it," and then he did. And after that, the match was just he was not the same for the next 2 or 3 racks or whatever. I think that was the first rack of the second set. So
he pulled a Joey Tate.
Yes. Except these balls were the same color as they normally are.
That's right. That's a good point.
But I did talk to Karthik afterwards, and he said he just was, I don't know. He just said he thought that was the next ball. Like,
wow.
He even played shape for that ball, which he did. So what's y'all's, Pat, what's your thought on both those matches, man? I mean, 4 great players, 2 really solid matches, but also 2 matches that went 2-0. So give us your thoughts, man.
Yeah, I mean, Karthik had a chance to take that one to the hill. He actually got Joey Fox to the hill in the first set, so he had a chance to take it. But I feel like at this point in the evening, this is where Joey starts to show how much of a seasoned player he is, right? Even though he may be playing what he would consider to be not at his best, his worst is better than a lot of people's bests, right? But then also at this phase of the night, he was in stroke, better than what how he started off with. So not too surprised at the 2-0, but Karthik definitely had a chance to take him to the hill. And then with the Eddie Little and Runal Bot, I didn't see that one going the way that it did, if I'm being honest. Even as hot as Runal was, I saw the match where Eddie Little just took everything from Vandy. So now, I thought it would have been closer than what it was for sure, especially given the player. But
absolutely.
2 great matches nonetheless. That's what if you live for the upsets, you'd like to see those kind of surprises. It's not so predictable, makes it more exciting. So 2 great matches played.
Absolutely. Brandon, did you get to watch those 2 matches, man?
I watched Eddie and Ronald.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've loved Eddie's game since I started playing pool, but this is a match where you just truly have to remind yourself the importance of focusing on every single shot.
Yeah.
Nothing is owed to you. You're not guaranteed to make it because you think you're good. And I feel like a little bit of that's what happened here because, I believe it or not, the number one most shocked look on anybody's face was Ronald's.
Oh, yeah.
When that cue ball went into the pocket.
Yeah.
And I know Eddie thinks I'm probably giving him a hard time here. And no, Eddie, my heart's bleeding for you because we've all done that in that situation. So, but other than that.
Don't ever use top left.
Never again. No. But other than that, it was a very good match. I mean, both players played great all day. That's why they got to where they were. So
yeah, you don't play bad and get to the Final Four winner side. Maybe
sure.
You don't have to play your best, maybe like Joey, but you don't have to you can't play bad. And I'm not even making fun of Joey. I'm just saying he didn't play his best. He still got there. But if you play bad, you're not getting there.
No, for sure.
So next we kind of take a detour here and we go to the loser side. And we showed a loser side match. Jeff Pate wins 2-0 against Damian Kimes. It was good to see Damian on the stream table, as we have talked about. He is, let's say, one of the weaker players in the field, but yet still manages to get right there close to the money every time. And then Jeff Pate, bouncing back here to the loser side with a 2-0 win. Just quick little thoughts on that, Brandon?
Can't handicap a man's heart.
Yeah.
That's true for Dave. I will say that right now.
That's beautiful.
I be able to handicap his pool game, but not his heart. No, like I said, like we said earlier in the show, all props to Damian. I just think he ran into the perfect storm with Pate. Pate was playing great, like he does pretty much in every tournament he plays in,
But
especially in yours.
yeah,
But
yeah, Pate wants the trophy.
if I could say anything to Damian, never mind the 9 through 12, what did you learn from this and take that with you?
Yeah,
And not just Damian, I could say it to a lot of players, but
for sure. Pat, what's your thoughts on that matchup, man, between Jeff and Damian?
I mean, I don't think it was a surprise given the two players. Love Damien's game. Love watching him play, man. Such a great guy. I would say that, be proud and build on the fact that you were down 2-1, right? Jeff Pate already won one set and he won 2 games in the second set and he was on the hill to go ahead and win, and Damien still fought and got one rack out of him. So, something to build on, man. But I know that's not going to phase him. He's just going to come back to Rackham here at the end of the month, ready to play.
Absolutely. Brandon, keep talking.
gotcha. And Pat, I mean, like I said, I've been playing pool for 20 years. I started where a lot of these players have started, and what he's doing is exactly what it takes. Be patient with yourself. Don't be too patient, because I mean that's how you get complacent. But
Right.
at the same time, like I said, I'm a fan.
I think.
I hope Damien keeps climbing, you as well, and a lot of the players.
Yeah, I think my thoughts is just Damian plays great, and he really battles through this tournament, which I love to see. But I think some matchups, no matter what the format is, being an even race, I feel like there's just some matches where the underdog just can't win.
Sure.
And I think that was this match. I think Jeff was going to win no matter what. And, it would have taken almost a miracle for Damian to win. And I think it was just one of those things. I think Damian just has to be happy with finishing one out of the money there. So we'll move on here. Our next match was the big match, what we all wait to see, the hot seat match. Joey Fox with the 2-1 victory, 2-1 win over Ronald Bott. I'll let both of you guys give your thoughts first before I give my thoughts. We will start with Pat. Pat's thoughts on Joey Fox beating Ronald Bott 2-1.
This was one of the best matches of the evening. Very exciting because it was at the point where Ronald was still shooting so well and Joey wasn't shooting his A game that you thought Ronald was going to take it. I thought this was going to be the end of the road for Joey Fox myself, if I'm being honest, just because of the build up to this match. But shouts out to him because he pulled it out.
Job done.
Brandon, what do you think about that match, man? You were commentating it.
I was.
Let's so we kind of got your thoughts live as it was happening. But now, as you've had time to we rewatched most of it a little bit ago, and also you just had time to think about it. Where are you at now?
How cool Joey stayed when he really started off just playing. Played good, and then he made 2 really, really bad shots in the first 2 racks, and he handed Ronald the first 2 games, and then eventually the first set in the process. Now, Ronald hit some pretty sweet shots to get those first 2 games, especially the first game. Remember, Pat, the one that sent shivers up my spine?
Oh, yeah.
The best shot of the tournament that wasn't a jump bank, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a highlight for that 2-ball out there. Yeah.
Yeah. But Joey stayed cool the entire time. He stayed focused. He kept his head in the match. And in the second and third set, Ronald made some uncharacteristic mistakes that Joey took advantage of, and that's why he got the W. So overall, I mean, just great match by both players. And when you're playing that type of match, it comes down to who makes the least amount of mistakes, not the most amount of shots.
Yeah.
And that ended up being Joey. So, congrats to you, Joey Fox, on winning a very hard match that, if you can't already tell, none of us thought you would win. So, throwing it back in our face.
By none of us, he means Brandon
us too.
And Pat. Because here's my thoughts. And I've been thinking about this. Ronald, newer to the game, right? Joey been playing for 40 years. Who knows how long he's been. So it's kind of, blue blood versus new blood here. But I will say this. I don't care who Joey Fox is playing in a hot seat match. I don't care who Joey Fox is playing. It could be anybody in the world. I will probably bet on Joey Fox to win that hot seat match. There's just
Really?
something about him winning. He loves that excitement. You know, he brings it for that match. I know he didn't even play his best in this match. Like you said, he really gave away the first set of this match. He easily could have probably won 2-0, really. But there was something about it. He finds a way to win.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I really don't remember if he's ever lost a hot seat match.
Really?
Like, I really just cannot think. I've been sitting here thinking, while both of you guys were talking, I was sitting here thinking, have I ever seen Joey lose a hot seat match?
Now, describe what does it actually mean to be in the hot seat? Like, what
Well,
is
the
the
hot seat match
situation that's happened that's brought us here?
It's the final two participants of the winner side play, and the winner is then in the hot seat, which means he's waiting for the winner of the loser side to come through. So, to explain it to all of our listeners, I guess, is that the best way to explain it, Brandon?
Yeah, it's actually perfect.
Yeah. So basically, the hot seat match is the finals of the winner side. Basically, is what that means. And I don't think Joey Fox has ever lost one of those matches, at least in my lifetime. So he finds a way to win. So both of you guys say you think Ronaldo would have won, which I know Ronaldo's the hot young kid on the block. He's the Marky Mark. He's got his little funky bunch. He's having fun. He's playing good. But you got Joey Fox.
What year is it, man?
Yeah.
You said funky.
Yeah, the Funky Bunch. Yeah, y'all know. Yeah.
Come on.
Don't act like
Feel it.
Funky Mark. Before he was the Calvin Klein model. Like, come on now. But Joey Fox is the blue blood. He's the classic. He's the UCLA of college basketball. He's the Indiana of college basketball. He's the North Carolina of college basketball. I mean, Joey Fox is that dude. He's not going to lose a hot seat match. So I actually expected him to win this match. And honestly, once they went to the third set, I even expected him to win it even more. And also, let me flip it now. I'm going to flip it. I know this is I'm talking about this match a lot.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
No, keep going.
I'm flipping it over. Ronaldo wins a lot of weekly tournaments. And by win, he splits the finals.
Okay.
And at some point, that's going to affect you. And when you're playing somebody like Joey, you have to understand what that little bit of extra pressure means. And I don't think Ronaldo quite knows how to fight through that little bit of pressure yet. I think he splits too many tournaments. He needs to play them. And whereas Joey loves it. Joey wants to play that. And I would say that, but they did end up actually kind of three-way splitting this tournament. But Joey understands the pressure of winning these kind of matches. I don't think Ronaldo is quite there yet. And I think that's the one thing that Ronaldo still has to figure out before he takes that next level and all of a sudden is on the same page as a Joey or a Clay or a whoever else in this area that you want to put on that list, maybe Eddie Little, So I think Ronaldo's right there, but he's just that one little, it's kind of like, whoever y'all want to think like in football, like me and Brandon were talking earlier, I think the Buffalo Bills, like they're like that little bit away from winning, the Chiefs are always going to win the AFC just because the Bills cannot figure out whatever that last little thing is. And that's the same thing with Ronaldo. He has yet to figure out that last little thing, that one thing, whatever it is. He hasn't figured it out yet. Joey knows what it is, though. Joey knows what that one thing is, and he's never going to lose one of these matches.
That was a beautiful rant.
Yeah. No, thank you.
It has to be said.
Thank you.
And I will add just a small piece of that was proof that tournament toughness does matter.
Yeah.
You see a lot of good players. David Anderson, you were not in this conversation. You see a lot of good players who come into tournaments, and you wonder why they go 2 and out, but they're good players.
Yeah.
Well, because they don't have the mental mind, they don't have the mind frame. Some of them aren't physically in shape, and they just miss shots when it's time.
Mm-hmm.
So where Joey, and Ronaldo as well, every time I'm at a tournament, it feels like they're there too.
Absolutely.
So that makes a big difference.
All right, so I think we rattled on about that match enough. We had one more match after that we played before they did a three-way split, which was Jeff Pate beating David Anderson 2-0. A match that really kind of warmed my heart a little bit, watching my Masters teammates and just two of my best friends play each other to get to third. It was a fun match to watch. I think at that point, though, both of them were kind of tired, and just David was a little more tired than Jeff, I feel like. But I think, honestly, that match is a toss-up right now, as we have said before. I think if David was playing more, I feel like, sadly, I give the edge to David. I know Jeff's going to message me about this when he sees it. So. But that's my thoughts on that match. Pat, what's your thoughts on that last match between Jeff and David?
Yeah, I think we even talked about that a little bit on stream. I believe in this match, I noticed that Jeff Pate just had a little bit more energy, a little bit more focus on the game. This is not unfamiliar territory for him going into the deep waters versus, like you guys said, David Anderson, a guy who hasn't, touched a table in 6 months or, doesn't play all the time at all. This late in the evening, they started at what, 2 a.m.?
Yeah,
Something close to that?
Yeah.
Jeff Pate, seasoned veteran. I'm taking Jeff Pate. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning and it's quiet and there's a pool match to be played, I'm taking Jeff Pate. He's gonna win that match.
He loves those late nights, no matter what he says.
Dude, he seems like the guy who's got the table in the basement, had it down there for 25 years, and if you want to find him on a Saturday night, 3 in the morning, that's where he is.
Not at all. If he's doing anything at 3 a.m. on a Saturday, it's probably playing poker on his phone. Definitely not playing pool at home. I'll tell you that right now.
That's great. But no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Pat. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, I think if they're both fresh, like you say, it's more of a toss-up at that point. But late in the evening, I'm taking Jeff all day, every day.
And I agree with that. Later on in the night, I would take Jeff's one of those players that definitely does get better as the night goes on. It's very weird.
Goes right back to what I said a few seconds ago. Tournament toughness.
Yeah.
Jeff is every open tournament, whether it's in the TPS or it's somewhere else, he's there. David, once a year, and I think that's really is what made the difference in this match.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one skill set over the other, because it's like you said, David would be, if he practiced religiously, probably be the best player in the area. He really, honest to goodness, has that type of talent.
100%.
But Jeff is so tough mentally and physically, and just just knows how to win matches. Not every single win that he has is the same as the last match before that. He just knows how to get it done.
Yeah.
That's why he's always in the money in these tournaments, or at least the last few.
Yeah. That's 3 in a row where Jeff's been in the top 4. Yeah. So, that's all the streaming matches that we had for this tournament, this non-ball event at Blue Rocks. Overall thoughts on the tournament. Just a quick little what's your, like, Pat, give me like a quick little what's your – what was your thoughts on this tournament? Just in general, maybe just who won, maybe who didn't win, maybe a certain match. Just overall, if I was like, hey, man, the non-ball tournament at Blue Rocks, what's up? What would you say? Putting him on the spot. It gets him.
You did, man. Yeah, I had to take a breath and think about that. You know what I would say? I would say if somebody asked me what was up with the Blue Rocks tournament, the 9-ball, I would say Damian Kimes is what's up with it.
Nice.
That's what I would say. And the reason why I would say that is because not only is it great for Damian, because he is like such a great ambassador for the sport, with the love of the game that he has and how he shows that when he plays, but he is also proof of concept to the cornerstone of the pool series tournaments, which is the format. The format is amazing. To your point, this field is probably more top heavy than the last field was when we were at Jukebox, right? So, more top heavy spread out across. So
more top players is what it was. Yeah.
More top players. Yes. And the fact that we still have a Jeremy Gathings and other folks who you wouldn't think would be up there in the money, either in the, making it to the money or just right outside the door. They're knocking on the doorstep. So that's what I would say. Best tournament we've had yet. And I think they're only going to get better.
Love it. Great thoughts. Brandon, the non-ball tournament at Blue Rocks, man. The pool series non-ball event at Blue Rocks. What's up, dude?
Couple of things. Number one, the environment was just top notch.
It was fun.
Everybody got along. You didn't have silly, stupid arguments. We all enjoyed each other's company. The commentating was great. The camaraderie was great. But if I'm going to throw one name out there, who caught my attention the most, David the Machine Anderson, just walking in off the street. Feel like I haven't seen the guy in years. I saw him in May and Masters. It's probably the last time he touched a cue.
Yeah, it was. And last time you saw him was when we were beating your Masters team.
Yes, thanks for reminding me. That's a nice plug there. Walks in, takes 4th place. If he hadn't been playing pool for 13 straight hours, he might have got higher than that. But, David, that was a great showing, and really to everybody. Plus, it was just an awesome tournament. Just an awesome day completely.
Absolutely. absolutely. So that's a great thought.
What would you say, Justin?
What would I say?
What would you say?
The pool series 9-ball event at Blue Rocks. I would say that the cream rises to the top. I think the top 4 in this tournament is the top 4 that I probably would have guessed at the beginning of the day. Honestly, if you had put a gun to my head, I would have said, you know what, these might be the top 4 people, and sure enough, that was the top 4 people. But on the flip side, there's a lot of people that are knocking on the door with this format, and it could be the exact opposite top 8 next time, just because this format does open it up for anybody and everybody to have a chance. But for this one event in particular, the one at Jukebox, I think we had a couple of surprises even in the top 4, such as Jeff Howell, John Horton. You know, I don't think we really expected them to be there. Yes. But for this one, this 9-ball event, this pool series event, the cream rose to the top. Joey Fox, Renault Bott, Jeff Pate, David Anderson, they were the top 4, and they were the final 4. So that's my thoughts on this event for sure. And let's go ahead and mention now our upcoming event that we have actually next week. It'll be at Smoke and Q, one pocket event, which everybody's been wanting one at Smoke and Q. So now we have one there. Yes, you can see the flyer. It's a races to 2, 48 player limit. As of right now, we have like about 34 or 35 signed up. Will we be seeing both of you guys there?
You will see me in the evening. I'm going to get on the mic. Unfortunately, that's a work day. I cannot get on.
All right. Pat?
My fiance let me come to the 28th.
All right. So,
I'm locked up till the end, baby.
And as Pat just mentioned, we will be having the event on the 28th as well. Look for the flyer for that coming out very soon. It will probably be a 9-ball event, just a heads up. Not 100% sure yet.
Awesome.
If it's not a 9-ball, what would it be?
It would probably be a 10-ball, possibly. Yes. But probably maybe 9-ball. We're not 100% sure. We will be putting the flyer out, so check the Pool Series Facebook page for that. Also, go subscribe to the YouTube page, the Pool Series, and watch some past matches. We are slowly uploading every match throughout the year. And last but not least, guys, I'm going to thank our sponsors one more time, and then we can give just mention our something else outside of the pool if we want to mention anything. So the sponsors, once again, were Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas, Paul Harrison Custom Cues, Red's Debris Removal and Hauling, Portico Licensed General Contractors, Bowie's Plumbing, Shaw's Auto Works, Smitty's Garage Services, and Alpha Installations. Thank you guys so much. So, Pat, is there anything else you want to mention that we have not talked about that has nothing to do with the pool series at all?
That has nothing to do with the pool series at all?
Are you feeling good about practicing? Do you want to mention the U.S. Open that just happened? What's your
Ko Ping Chung going 99 balls, 11-0 in the semifinals was crazy against Aloysius Yap. That's ridiculous. I also called Skylar Woodward to win the whole thing. I called that with my heart though, not really with my brain. But no, this has probably have been one of the best U.S. Opens in a long time. There was a lot of surprises and a lot of people that you thought were going to make it to the end, like Shane and them. But a really good field. I've been really loving watching the pool that's been going on lately, man.
Absolutely. Brandon, what's going on with you, man? You got league back up. Y'all won cities or what?
Let's just move over to BJ Westry getting top 64 in the U.S. Open with some good wins.
Yeah,
he lost to 2 guys they're both world champions. So
he lost to Albin Ocean
and David Alcady.
Yes.
So he beat Yayo Grillo in there, which is another strong player. If anybody wants to look him up.
Yeah.
But to answer the question you did ask, 8-ball cities was a total disaster. Next.
All right, so that's I guess that's about it for our show, boys and girls and ladies and kids and all sorts of whatever else is out there. That's the end of the TPS Reports podcast for this week or this month. I guess look for us again very soon because we got that one pocket event coming up. So possibly next week we'll be doing another one. And for now, though, I'm Justin Clark. That's Brandon Mullis. That guy on the screen is Pat Dixon. And we'll check you later.
Signing off.